record highs, but how has the journey been? Ekta Batra is joining in to tell us the performance of bank stocks, both private and public sector, from January 2015, which is when that index hit its record high. Ekta, what do the numbers say?
Well, yes, the Bank Nifty is at similar levels that we saw all the way back in Jan of 2015 when it had touched record highs. But what has been the change from then to now in terms of the Bank Nifty gainers or the general PSU bank movement? Now, if you look at the private banks, what really has led the movement on the upside are two stocks in particular. Yes Bank, which has clocked in almost 60% gains, followed by IndusInd Bank, which is up around 40-odd% since then. But we have other private banks which have done well as well, but not as much. So HDFC Bank, which is up around 21%, Axis Bank, which is the least in terms of gains, so it's up only in single digits at around 6-odd%. If you look at the non-bank Nifty constituent, which is HDFC from the NBFC space, that one too has risen in single digits of around 6-odd%. One which has underperformed in the private banking space since Jan of 2015 is ICICI Bank, with over 25% in terms of falls. In terms of the PSU banks, though we have seen a rally of late in PSU banks, if you look at it from Jan of 2015, the underperformance continues. State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, both those stocks down over 20%, PNB down over 30-odd%, similar state for Union Bank of India, IOB down over 54%, and Central Bank of India, however, managed to eke out gains with just around 4% of gains. If you look at two outperformers from the broader market banking space, it has to be Lakshmi Vilas Bank, which is up around 60% since Jan of 2015, and City Union Bank, which is up 37%.
Well, thanks for that, Ekta. But perhaps, you know, the division as private and public is artificial. Maybe we should be looking at banks as corporate-facing and non-corporate-facing, and clearly the corporate-facing banks have underperformed. But let's take just a look at the public sector banks. You've seen those banks do exceptionally well today, and part of it could be, you know, what the finance minister said. Well, he doesn't look at privatization as an answer, but the very fact that they are focusing a lot on public sector banks needs to be taken note of.
The public sector banks, despite competition, have had a far larger contribution. And therefore, I don't think the public opinion or the political opinion in India has still converged to a point where you are thinking in terms of any form of privatization in that sector. So some selective reforms do take place.
Well,